I get a ton of questions and messages asking me what I'm doing through the doom and gloom of the hobby, so let's go through them. What's going on, guys? Matt here, back again with another video. Before we start, smash the like button if you're enjoying the sports card content and make sure you hit subscribe for more future content. We've seen over the past few months a fair bit of pessimism over the card market. I try not to be pessimistic as there becomes a herd mentality when any of these things occur. Generally, when everyone is pessimistic, it's hard to have a positive view of things. That's why you've probably seen me with a lack of content, specifically talking about the dip with the sports card market. And also there are a million other sports card content creators who are talking about the dip in the sports card market. So what am I doing currently in the sports card market? Really not much different. I'm still buying and selling as per normal for my collecting and investing purposes. When it comes to sports at the moment, we've just finished the Euros and we're leading up to the NFL season, and we're also nearing the end of the NBA playoffs. Every week I've been recording a market watch video to detail how sports cards have moved based on news and events. And one of the things I've been noticing is that we're starting to get those reactive movements with key events. I think that was something that we were missing towards the end of the 2020 NBA regular season. And personally, it still shows that we have people entering the hobby and being excited by key events and showing that they are still reactive to the market. Two key examples of this in the playoffs were Terrence Mann from the Clippers and Kevin Huerter from the Hawks. Both are cheap and are solid role players who probably won't become superstars in time, but with key performances in games during the playoffs, we saw 50 to 60% increases over the course of a couple of days for each of them. Of course, whenever this happens, I always recommend to strike when the iron is hot and to sell, and this proved right because in the following weeks, as noted in my market watch videos, you can see them both as the biggest losers in each of their weeks. I think that's one sign that the market is still alive and that we're just going through a price adjustment. With each round going by in the playoffs, we've seen incremental increases in winners that do progress and then a drop for losers. Currently, at the time of recording, we have the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks playing off in the NBA Finals. When we look at the Suns star player Devin Booker, we see an upwards trend line on his rookie-based Prism PSA 9 as the hype builds for his potential first ring. And for the Milwaukee Bucks, looking at Chris Middleton as Giannis's price hasn't really moved thanks to injury. Looking at his rookie-based Prism PSA 9, we again see an upwards trend line with excitement. With my personal eBay store, which I always link in the description, I've seen consistent sales. I know this is a little bit more relative to me because I'm in Australia and prices can actually differ compared to America, but I've still been able to generate some big eBay sales as well as some Facebook sales. I've also got a secondary eBay account that I list cards on for auctions. Keeping in mind with auctions, you do run the risk of the auction going unders, which has happened to me a fair bit on that account. When it comes to buying cards, I'm targeting anything I want for my collection and also targeting anything I think I can profit on. For basketball, I'm trying to get some ultra modern slabs I can potentially make some short-term flips on. You'll see some of these in my Ship My Cards mail day, but some examples are a PSA 10 Justin James Silver for $10 US, or even a Taco Fall number to 199 Optic PSA 10 for $20 US. Not great players by any means, but when you can grab a PSA 10 for less than the grading fee, it does provide great opportunity. I've also been buying up some NFL in anticipation for the season coming up. I'm super excited for the growth in the NFL card market because surprisingly I found it to be a bit more stable than the NBA. I think the addition of Trevor Lawrence to the Jacksonville Jaguars will provide a Zion or Luka level type of excitement to the NFL hobby. I will be doing a future NFL predictions video, so stay tuned for that. I've even ventured out and purchased some soccer cards, which I'm sure the content team at Double Coverage will be proud of. Again, I've learnt a fair bit from Crunch Time and the Double Coverage podcast, so do check them out for some soccer knowledge. I've really used the general market dip as a cheaper entry point for some cards that I couldn't afford previously, and it also gives me an opportunity to go prospecting in sports I know, like the NBA and the NFL. When it comes to specific types of cards in sports, I've again been really targeting whatever. I'm not under the notion that base is completely dead because with the market drop, we have seen short printed cards fall the same way as base cards. I think it all really comes down to your own personal situation. For me, I have made some money on sports cards, so I am willing to roll over into some nice mid to high end cards for players I do like. Some base cards in a slab have become ridiculously cheap, and you can find some in a slab cheaper than the grading fee itself. If you're starting out, I don't see an issue with grabbing a base card provided you do the research behind it. I'll say it again, but I won't recommend the 2019-20 Prism basketball base set due to the ever-growing population count. But I'm not opposed to other years in my opinion. The one thing that has changed for me, however, is with grading. With PSA closed and slowly opening up their services, I do have a stack of cards waiting to be graded. I think if anything, it's been pure laziness by me by not looking at other grading services. In saying so, I am definitely open to a submission with SGC. Initially, I was waiting until July to submit through PSA, but the closure really did make me just forget about him. I have listened to an interview with Nat Turner, who is the chairman of Collectors Universe who owns PSA, and he did say that he eventually does want to open up an economy service again. He wants to do this as he understands the importance of grading your collection, and grading a $5 card with the $50 service isn't feasible. I also do have a stack of cards waiting to come back from PSA, and the 3 to 4 months off PSA has been a blessing in disguise as I can now save for these returns. I'm also being selective with what I do potentially send to PSA, taking into account the new grading fees. Last year you could send the $5 base card, and provided you got at least a 9, you'd always profit. Overall, I'm still excited by the hobby and still researching as much as I was. I think personally, like anything, you do have to tune out the negativity as it can cloud your own judgment. But that's it for today's video. On a side note, I do know most of my audience is from Australia and America, with some other countries sprinkled in there. But I do hope everyone is staying safe and hopefully using the hobby as an escape from everything going on. Let me know down below if there are any video ideas you want me to be doing in the future. And as always guys, I'll see you guys in future videos. Take care.